Welcome to The Entrepreneur. My name is Paul Patrick Mots'oene, the ever so awesome and incredible one. And welcome to The Entrepreneur. This is Kaya TV. Remember, you can check us out on Facebook. We are on Instagram, on TikTok, also on YouTube. We have a lot of content that definitely needs to be watched right there. This is The Entrepreneur, and today we are joined by a lady who is so much into business. She owns Oishi beverages. She also owns Explore Academic Success, which started back in 2018. Not only that, she told me, or rather little Betty told me, that she's been to over 24 countries, including Slovakia. She's been to France, she's been to the US, she's been to Kenya, she's been to Rwanda, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, she went to Lesotho High School and went on to the African Leadership Academy, and many more that she's going to be emphasizing on today. Please help me welcome one of the alumni of the Mandela Washington Fellowship, Thato Mokhothu.
Thank you so much. What an introduction, man.
Like, whenever you're being introduced, how does it feel? Do you also go like, is that me?
Literally, is that me? This sounds too much.
Because
this is extra.
I even had to cut it. I was like, yo, this I'll take an entire day introducing you.
That's crazy. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
I'm sure Lesotho is treating you quite well, because I can see you're glowing, you're very happy, you're relaxed.
Is this the glow of Lesotho or the glow of the US?
Definitely one of the two. So, like I mentioned, today we are joined by you. I want us to start with the fact that you have been to over 24 countries.
That's the juiciest part, right?
That's the juiciest part.
But you know what's even juicier than that?
Yeah.
Is the fact that I thought at this point in my life I would have been to over 30. So for me, it actually feels like less of an accomplishment because my goal was 30 before I turned 30. Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, COVID happened. Back in COVID times, I had money, but I couldn't go anywhere. So I had to delay some of my plans, and I'm okay with it now. I've decided now it's 35 before 35.
Tell me, how did that happen? Like, were you working? Were you just traveling as a tourist? How does that work?
So it was mostly through school. Okay, like how I managed to travel so much was mostly through school. I got a scholarship to go study for my bachelor's degree in Germany. This was the MasterCard Scholars Foundation,
Lovely.
which I think some of your viewers have heard about, because now they have even expanded into Africa. They're sponsoring kids to go to Pretoria and UCT and all these things.
Yes.
Back when it started, it was for Europe and the USA. So I got to go to Europe. And because I studied in Germany, Germany is like the center of Europe. And I felt like, you know what, it would be such a waste if I studied here and I didn't explore the neighboring countries.
Absolutely.
I had the Schengen visa, already. And as a resident, you don't even have to stamp your passport when you cross. Zoom, zoom, zoom. You know what I mean? And here's the thing that I like to tell people. The Europeans have made it so easy to travel within their borders. It's got low cost airfare, you've got Ryanair, you've got EasyJet. So a trip that takes 4 hours, from Dusseldorf to Rome, which I've been to, by the way, that's a 4-hour journey, and it only cost me about 80 euros.
You laugh.
And that was for a return trip.
Wow.
That was for a return trip. But how Shaba, South Africa to Lesotho, that's a 45-minute flight, and already it costs you about 4,000 rand. And that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But over there, they've made it easy for students to travel, workers to travel. So it doesn't matter which economic bracket you fall under, but traveling is easy. If you can't afford a flight, there are trains that go between the countries, there are buses that go between the countries. So I knew that if I'm in Bremen, Germany, 2 hours later on a Flixbus, which cost like 25 euros, I'm in Amsterdam.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
No wonder you've been to so many countries already.
And most of them were in Europe, and it's
Yeah.
because of the ease of travel and how low cost it
Mm-hmm.
was. So honestly, it was such a privilege to be there, and I just maximized it.
I love that. And I want to believe that the fact that you're saying most of them were because of your education and
Yes.
academic, exploration.
Right.
That could be the reason that you came up with your business in 2018, Explore Academic Success.
Yes.
And I remember a few weeks ago, you were mentioning how you and I have, common, interests.
Some common ground, and I want us to work together.
Love that. Tell us about Explore Academic Success. When that business started in 2018, what prompted you to decide that, you know what, I'm going to start this business?
Right. So it actually came out of personal struggle. It was one of those businesses where I noticed a need for myself. And I was looking around in the market to say, is there anyone who provides this service? And I couldn't find anyone. And I had to be the answer to my own problem, right? And so what it was I had finished with my studies in Germany. I wanted to go further my education. I wanted to get a master's and a PhD. And I was just like, where do I start? Because with the MasterCard Scholars Foundation, it was sort of an easier transition from African Leadership Academy because we were the pilot school. So getting that scholarship was not difficult. But now coming back and trying to figure out, how do I go post-grad now? Where do I find financing? Which schools should I even go for, which are good in what I'm trying to pursue, which was neuroscience and cognitive psychology at the time. And I was finding information on the internet to be so overwhelming. There's just so much. I don't know what's legit and what's a scam.
Yeah.
I started wishing that there could be somebody who could help me to navigate that. But there wasn't anyone, or at least none that I knew of. And I said, you know what, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do this myself, but I don't want other students to go through the struggle that I went through. So after I figured it out, I applied for scholarships. I actually got Shivening. I got the Shivening scholarship in 2019. For 2019 entry. I turned it down because I got a job in Japan.
I've never heard of anybody turning down the Shivening scholarship.
It was very unorthodox of me to do that. But honestly, the Japanese experience was worthwhile, and it made sense at the time to go for work rather than. So, but in any case, I started this company because I said, I know for sure there are so many students who want to study abroad, but they don't know where to go. Do I go to the US, the UK? What's the difference? How do I apply? How do I get there? Some schools require SATs. What are those? You know what I mean? We're not very much trained in how to find these external opportunities. So I wanted to be the answer for a kid who says, hey, I've got the grades. I want to go and explore my potential, but I just don't know where to start. I wanted to be there to hold their hand and to say, okay, this is how you do it. The other thing is, what I've found with Basotho students, now that I've worked with them, we struggle a lot to write our application essays, our motivational essays.
Tell me about that.
Because, hi, Mona, it's not a huge requirement. When you're applying to NAL, you just fill in your personal details and,
Absolutely, yeah.
People are not used to expressing themselves on paper in a way that makes them stand out, much being. The benchmark is different there. So I'm trying now to help people to say, hey, what makes a good application essay? What makes your story pop from the rest of the crowd? You know what I mean? Yeah, so I started Explore Academic Success, and I'm happy to say that over the years, I've been helping a lot of students with university applications. I help them to write their first CVs, For some of them, they just require academic mentorship. Uthola hore motho is already enrolled in a university, but they're not really sure of what career they want to do after that. Did they choose the right courses and all of that? So I help them navigate their academic journeys and even after.
I absolutely love this. I wish during my time I also knew that there could be, people who could actually assist you with such.
Yeah.
Because kind of what's it like when so I really applaud you for taking a stand and just ensuring that you assist. So I also want to talk, before we get more into explore.
Right.
I looked at your journey, your education. It is not, the typical traditional route. I get what about high Patrick high school. Since I give it all Patrick, you study nursing. It's agriculture,
Yeah.
how Ramon you apply or mark up college, you understand that is just how it works out.
Normal track.
But for you went from Lesotho High School to the African Leadership Academy.
Right.
And then you went to Bremen.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How did you decide to go that route as opposed to the traditional route?
Yeah. So it goes back to Agibala class 7. When I was in primary school, I always had this dream that I want to study abroad. Okay, like nikisena interest ya who kena Roma. In as much as my mom actually is a lecturer at NAL, but I had no interest whatsoever to go to the National University. But at the time, fast forward, I think I was in Form D or so. I started exploring biology. I started getting a deeper interest in biology. I don't want to be a doctor, but it's a research, a scientist in human something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where can I do this? I know it now, they have biochemistry and stuff. That's not really where I want to go. I want to explore, let's say, the human brain, for example. Where would I go for that? And then I saw in America, in the US, in Europe, they have these courses. And then, how do I get there? Now, this is where you start feeling when you want something deeply enough, sometimes the universe really does conspire to make it happen for you.
Absolutely.
When I was in Form E, one of my best friends, and still is my best friend right now, he introduced me to the African Leadership Academy, which I believe to today, that was the bridge for me to figure out exactly what I wanted to do in my life. But I didn't know about this school until my friend Tebo, I'll name drop, he came to me and said, there's this school in Johannesburg and I think you would be a great fit for it. I'm like, why? He says, well, they study A-levels, they have African studies, entrepreneurship, but they also provide ways for people to then transition out of Africa into schools abroad to study whatever they want. And I said, what?
This could be the one.
This could be the bridge for me to get there. So him and I applied for this school. Form 5. I'm already applying. And I think around the time when my parents were now paying for exam fee, couple July, then I gave busy African Leadership Academy for interviews.
Oh my God.
I was insane. I was actually insane because what ended up happening was I was admitted to the African Leadership Academy. Now their calendar is different from Yarona. So January, December. Bona ba qala ka September to June. So that very September, I have to be writing my Form 5 exams here.
Wow. Let me cut you short. Very interesting story. Now, explore academic success. You started it in 2018, now we're in 2025. Just let's say 3 milestones you have reached out of that business and how you managed to get there as well.
Right, okay. So one of the biggest milestones that I've reached is placing more than 50 students, Babasotho, in different institutions around the world.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, so that for me is like, I'm seeing myself multiply within the students. But what I also do is to make sure that I keep in contact with each and every one of them, because for me, it's not just about placing them somewhere. It's about making sure they excel in their studies over there. So we provide consistent mentorship for them while they are away, whether that's in South Africa or China, India, US. I've had students going to these countries.
This is lovely.
Yeah, actually, a very nice moment that happened to me during Mandela Washington was I was placed in Texas, and I have one of my very first clients who is in Texas at the moment, just that we're in different cities.
Yeah.
She's in Houston and I'm in Austin, but she's in her final year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a full circle moment for me to say, this is one of the people that started this company with me, and she's about to graduate from her bachelor's. It was such an amazing
man, I absolutely love that. Sort of changing people's lives.
Changing
I
people's
absolutely
lives.
love that. Ladies and gentlemen, we still have right here Miss Thato Mokhothu. We are talking all things explore academic success. She's not only into that, she's also into Oishi beverages, which we are going to be talking about a bit later as well.
All right.
So with explore, just in short, where do you want to see it, let's say in the next 2 years, apart from everything that you have already done or covered with explore, where do you still want to see yourself?
So we've been operating primarily in Maseo, Leribe, a little bit of Mafete. What I want to do is to expand into the whole country, have human capital that is enough to spread the mission of Explore into all 10 districts in Lesotho. So I'm looking to work with social workers, psychologists, train them using our methods to explore so that they can spread this word. To go and give a motivational talk, you know what I mean? But I want to have those people I can trust to say, you can be placed in Tabatseka and I trust that you will do a good job there.
Yeah.
You can be placed in Kacha, so that our impact is amplified.
Oh, man, I absolutely love this. Young people doing amazing things and, just taking us up space as well. And it's very interesting because you were so much into science.
Oh, yeah.
Now we see you, taking a different route now into business.
Pivoting, honey, we're pivoting.
I want us to talk more about that right after the break. This is still Kaya TV and this is The Entrepreneur with Patrick Mots'oene.
Hi, I'm Lerato Chawana and I have great news on how you can transform your business without breaking the bank. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Kaya TV Plus has revolutionized TV advertising for small businesses. Get your message in front of millions across Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and other major streaming TV platforms. Kaya TV, inspiring youth.
And just like that, we are back to The Entrepreneur. And this time we come back with Oishi beverages by the one and only Thato Mokhothu.
Yeah.
She's not only into academic success and all of that, but now, Osabilia Ritela, I branda. And she was saying, you were telling me just yesterday that you feel like Oishi is actually doing quite well.
Oishi's doing really well.
Yeah,
I'm proud of that.
I'm proud of
January, but already we are in 3 stores. By the end of this week, we're entering our 4th.
You are lying.
I'm serious. I'm serious. People love this stuff.
Oh my God.
And you know what? Like,
No. Hold it. I need to taste this before.
Go ahead.
I need to taste this so that I know exactly what we are talking about.
Go ahead.
This is Oishi ginger drink.
And give us your first impressions.
Okay. No wonder. No wonder. Oh my God. Tell me about the journey to Oishi and why Oishi? Because hangata tafumana hore ha re neng ma di product tsa rona le Sotho.
Thato's ginger drink.
Munhu go tshwai go bone mabitso a mara. Why Oishi? What is Oishi as well?
Oishi is a Japanese word that means delicious. I think some of your viewers will remember there was an advert in advertiser like in a bar. Oishi! So it's actually an interjection that Japanese people use whenever they taste something amazing, whether it's a drink, whether exactly. So I named it because whoever drinks it must taste that deliciousness. And also for me, because I lived in Japan for 4 years, I felt like I wanted to add a little bit of zing to the naming. Something unique, So a conversation conversation starter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oishi ke. Then we start talking about it versus handing like Thato's ginger drink. That's
it's
just
just
my name.
basic.
It's way too basic, and I don't
Oh my
do
God,
basic.
I love this. Kgemere, anybody can make kgemere. Kgemere tse ngata
Re na le
in store,
dikgemere
in
tse ngata.
supermarket.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to go particularly ka hara kgemere fela ntse
Yeah.
re tseba hore ho na le di-business tse ngata kapa batho ba bangata ba etsang kgemere?
Yeah. So for me, ke rata kgemere, like from ho tloha kgale, le heso ke ne ke dula ke etsa kgemere. And my mom and my friend used to say, why o sa e rekise? And I'm like, for me ke ntho e ke e ratang fela ha re bakile dikuku lapeng ebe di tsamaya ka kgemerenyana. But then what I started realizing now with what you're saying, in as much as ho na le dikgemere tse ngata on the market, each one tastes different.
Absolutely.
Each one brings something different to the table. Yaga already I knew it tastes different from even from the stores. And I was like, there might be someone who actually prefers this taste. Who fit a tasty.
Yes.
Look at how many brands of water there are. And it's one of those markets where from the outside you can look at it and say it's a saturated market. But why are we still having bottled water brands popping out left, right, and center? Because each one, if I a different experience to the customer, and that's what I wanted to provide for people. So one of the unique features that this ginger is that I don't only use powdered ginger, but I actually crush fresh ginger into it. And that's the other Japanese aspect that I brought into it. Fresh produce, fresh ingredients, healthy living. So I wanted it to not just be a drink, a traditional beverage, but rather to be a wellness beverage.
So you'd agree with me, Hakere, there's nothing as a saturated market for
Not
any
at all.
product.
For any product. Metsi, kgemere, motoho. If you want to do it, do it. And about for bangata ba reng, Mots'oene, but they're not doing it.
Also, they're not doing it
The way
you
you
are
would
doing
do
it
it.
as well.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about branding as well. The aspect of branding.
Yeah.
Why is it important in business when how it's a product thing, you invest in the branding and also in the marketing of your product?
So branding speaks to the psychology ya moreki. You know, how bear the color tse tala, le tse brown, le tse jwang. All of this has meaning to the person I sheba. Psychologically, brown, earthy tones, they say nature, they say the ground, they say something, which is what I'm trying to bring to the table. Real ginger, fresh ginger. But then you've got the green bottle caps, which say fresh, which say something spring vibes. This is what I'm communicating branding back. Now, with the marketing, it's so important to market your business. Actually, I was with a friend yesterday. She does so many things. With a manana, with a muriri and all these things. She doesn't market her skills. She doesn't advertise. How are you going to run a business without advertising? I am all over Facebook. I'm all over TikTok. I'm all over Instagram because that's where my market is. And I'm trying to be in people's faces because I know the more they see your brand, the more likely they are to purchase your brand because of a familiarity bias. And so I'm tapping into my knowledge, science and and psychology, bringing it to the business side, marketing.
I absolutely love that. Also, big companies, which have been here for years and years and years, you see them continuously marketing.
It doesn't matter how this company has been there for 100 years.
Yeah.
They are still advertising. You see their adverts on TV. Everywhere. How bula your Facebook or whatever. There's a little something. Why are they still doing that? They know how important communicating to the customers is.
Ah, man, I love that. You are very young, Thato.
Very young.
You're already doing so much in business. You've already traveled the world. You're just doing a lot. Then they can Mandela Washington Fellowship as well.
Oh, yeah.
One again.
Apply.
First time you are in.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, me too. So, Tell me about that. There are so many other young people across Africa that apply along the Mandela Washington Fellowship.
It's a very competitive one.
It's a very competitive fellowship in Africa. And I want to understand, when we applied it the first time, first try, and you made it, what do you believe worked for you?
So, two things. One, I already had a solid track record behind my name. So when I'm asked questions in the essay prompts, what have you done in terms of leadership? In what ways have you impacted your community? I had things to write about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I had explored to talk about. I know how many people have been impacted through my work. So I would say to anyone who's looking to apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship or any other leadership training program, make sure you start building your track record early on. Totally apply right now. 5 years later, right now. And that could be through anything that you are passionate about. I'm passionate about education, but other people are passionate about agriculture or women empowerment or economic inclusion, whatever it is. Start that project. Get people together, build a team, do something for the good of the community. Now you start having an impact. 2 years later, this is what I've done. That's the first thing. The second thing, you have to learn communication skills, written and verbal communication skills, because your essay has to make sense to the person reading it. Because people don't know you. You're introducing yourself to them through written work. You want to tap into their interest such that they will invite you for that interview. Now that interview, that's where you express yourself verbally, and you have to know how to package your story well, because we know there are people back at but you are not going to make it. So start practicing any opportunity that you get. Presentations, debate clubs, whatever it is, go out there, start expressing yourself. That's how you start building the confidence. It's like how even you're networking with the big leagues, the creme de la creme. Those are two things that absolutely worked for me: building my track record and mastering communication.
I love that. How we got the track record? The project that I went there with, 2016.
You see,
2016. That's
and then you only applied for Mandela right now.
2024.
You built that. Oh my goodness.
You understand?
So important.
It's so important to build that track record so that when they go back,
exactly.
So now I want us to also motivate Bacha as well, right? Who also want to get into business or who are already in business. So to them, to sort of motivate them as well, that it doesn't matter how you feel, the market is saturated. What do we say to them to also start a business, get into business as well?
Yeah. No, to all of the youth who are in business, but the business had its hand. Seasons change. Now it's summer. Launch a campaign, start a Facebook competition, get people's eyes onto your product. So the marketing is very, very important for that. But I will also like to say something. Feedback.
Yes.
Feedback. People are attacking us when they're giving us constructive feedback. Guys, you cannot be in business if you don't expect feedback. Now what I did before I even took it to the stores and stuff, taste it. Give me some pointers. Just ask people for their feedback. You're not going to be able to cater for absolutely everyone's opinions, but you'll start to understand a general view. Most people worrying about your product or about your service. That's when you will know, what do I need to improve upon? Because businesses at my hand but if you ask for that feedback. Hey guys, utlile ditshebeletsong Mantaha. How was the service from my employees? What can we do better next time? Then you will have something to work on.
Ah.
And for those who are yet to get into business, ba ntseng ba inahana, "Le nna nka etsa kgemere, le nna nka o etsa motonka." Do it. Do it now.
Right now.
There's an English proverb that I like. The best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is now. How so Sasilima 20 years ago? Do it now. It goes for business, it goes for investments. How so Sayeza Lemunsefdile? Now is your time. You've woken up today, you have energy. Do it. Do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, do it right now.
Yep.
And that is what we have been advocating for right here on The Entrepreneur. Thank you so much, Thato Mokhothu. I wish we had an entire day.
I wish we didn't have so much to talk about.
Because I feel like there's still a lot that we need to unpack in terms of the work that you're doing and the work that you're yet to do as well.
Right.
I really want to applaud you.
Thank you. Thank
The
you.
fact that you're here where you are right now, young as you are, you motivate not only us young people, but you also motivate Baba Hulu as well to also get into business. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that.
Thank you
Please
so
continue
much.
on that track.
Yeah.
Continue on that.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Man, this was Thato Mokhothu. She is the brains behind Oishi beverages. She also started the Explore Academic Success in 2018.
Yeah.
She has traveled many countries, and she is currently the alumni of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. I hope you really enjoyed this beautiful episode, and I really did as well, and I gained quite a lot from this insightful conversation we just had. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, you can catch us on Facebook. We are Kaya TV, on YouTube, on Instagram, as well as on TikTok. Ensure that you watch our content right there and be motivated as I am right now. Until we meet again on the next episode, hot and hotter. Right here. Stick around. We'll see you later.
Bye.